Nick Landry with Bruce Foods, and we have Darryl Holiday with Seasoned Smoke, and we're out here on this beautiful morning. We're going to barbecue for you today. We have about, we'll do one of about 10 or 12 recipes today. It's a little bit chillier than normal, but barbecue season is coming, and we're going to give you some great recipes today. First recipe today, we're going to have, we have 8 chicken halves. We're going to season it with a little Cajun injector Cajun shake, or any all-purpose seasoning that you prefer. We're going to generously season the outside of these chickens. This can feed a whole family. If you're having a party, it's a great way to cook chicken, and use of a chicken cooker that we'll show you momentarily. So generously seasoned. We have a little bit of hot sauce to kick it up a bit. These chickens take approximately about 2.5 hours to cook, and with these same chickens we'll actually do 2 to 3 different recipes using these chickens. Gives you a different idea of using barbecue chicken. If you have leftovers, you can make chicken salad. We'll give you some great ideas today. We're going to also hook the chickens under the wing joint with these stainless steel hooks right there. The chicken cooker comes with 8 hooks. I've actually also cooked up to 16 half chickens at a time on the chicken cooker. Great way to barbecue. And not only we're cooking with charcoal today, we're going to actually also use a seasoned smoke product. It's a Dixie pecan. It's going to add great flavor to the chicken. These will actually be the most juiciest chickens you'll taste, I can guarantee. So next, now that we have them all hooked up and ready to go, we're going to come out on the deck and go ahead and show you the chicken cooker and let these chickens cook. So this is the Cajun injector chicken cooker. Darryl's dropping in the Dixie pecan wood chips. They're pre-soaked wood chips, all ready to go. You can purchase them. They're already soaked for you. And then we're going to add these chickens. They have a slotted hooks where we'll drop them. And then we'll place the lid on, and the chickens will cook for approximately 2.5 hours. Now, if you can help me, and we can hook these chickens. Yep. You're going to go on 2 on each. Use the. Let's see. Turn them that. There we go. So it'll fit 8 chicken halves, and as you can see, you can purchase more hooks. And if you need it to do up to, if you're having a big party, you can do up to 60. Chicken halves. Thank you. You can already hear the chicken sizzling above the charcoal. Get the charcoal nice and hot with white charcoal right before you are ready to cook the chicken. There you go. The chicken's going to be nice and brown, tender, juicy, and along with the flavor from the Dixie pecan wood chips. Place the lid on and basically let it cook for about 2.5 hours. You'll start to smell the chickens cooking. They're right above the leg, and you'll be able to, when they're done, you'll be able to turn the bone, and the bone will come out clean. We've reached the internal temperature of the chicken. It reached 165 degrees. Now we have let it rested, and we're ready to make chicken salad, but not your grandma's chicken salad.
Okay.
So we have our barbecue chicken. We're basically going to take it. You can either shred it, or I'm going to actually cut it into chunks. As you can see, it's very moist, beautiful color. You can add the skin to the salad if you like, or if you want a little more healthier version. We're going to just do a little black pepper, a little bit of salt. If you can start stirring that, add a little bit of egg in there for me, Darryl. There we go.
Both kinds of chicken.
Both kinds of chicken. So, got the egg and the whole chicken. Then we're going to add a little bit of quartered red grapes. There we go. That'll add some nice texture to it. A little bit of nice texture and nice sweetness. A little bit of fresh squeezed lemon juice.
That'll play nicely with the grapes and bringing that acidity out.
Yeah, correct. And then we also we're going to add a little bit of Granny Smith apple, a little more tartness. And then it's not chicken salad without a little bit of mayo to bind it together. Mix that up nicely. And then we're serving this on a nice whole grain wheat roll. It has some nice toasted oats. Makes for a wonderful sandwich. Or you can also serve it on a bed of greens. Also, a good addition to this, if you'd like, you can toast some toasted almonds. That works well in the dish. Adds a nice crunchy texture, a nice toasted component. We can garnish it a little bit. And there you have a nice smoked chicken salad, but it's not your grandma's chicken salad. One last recipe for our smoked chicken. Darryl and I are going to make a margarine, caper, and olive sauce to go on our smoked chicken. So basically we're going to start off, Darryl will be my muddler for the day. We're going to start off with some caper berries.
And these are drained caper berries. You want to try to get as much of that briny, salty out.
Then we're going to have some green olives, which we've pitted. Took the pits out. Basically, if you go around the olive, you'll fill the pit, and you can just kind of shave all the olives off of the side of the pit. We have some fresh parsley leaves. Then the key to this recipe is margarine leaves. Fresh margarine. Margarine is an herb that has a little piney in flavor, but a little lemon zest.
Yeah, I'd say it's like it's definitely a lemony and piney note. You know, I don't think it's really used as much down here in South Louisiana as it is in some places, but it's got a terrific flavor.
Right. You barely seldom see this herb being used, and it's a wonderful, wonderful flavor. So we'll put some margarine leaves. Then we're going to add a little bit of pine nut. I mean, the way this is going, it's pretty much making a somewhat like a pesto, pretty much. We have some fresh minced garlic. A little bit of red vinegar. And Darryl will muddle that up, and then we'll finish it off with a little olive oil and drizzle it on top of the chicken. It's coming together nicely.
Yeah, the key is to really work it until it's a paste that really comes together.
So we'll go ahead and add a little olive oil just to kind of make it a little saucy. And I mean, this goes well with barbecue chicken. I mean, it's excellent. Smoked chicken. You can even use it on a fresh grilled piece of chicken breast. So we'll basically take this, now that we've muddled it, add it on our chicken, kind of spread it out. Add a little more olive oil if you'd like, if you want it to drizzle over. And there you have it, a nice smoked piece of chicken with a marjoram, olive, and caper berry.
Topping out almost.
Yeah.
Hey guys, so we are here, we're going to do a homemade smokehouse smoked almonds. So what we're going to do is we're going to take a pound of raw, unroasted, unsalted almonds, and we're going to add some sesame oil. You can use any oil, you can use butter. I like the sesame oil. The nuttiness comes out a little bit more when you add the heat. So we're going to add just enough sesame oil until we feel like we're getting a good coating. I'm actually going to have you help me with this, Nick.
Okay.
Let's go with a little bit more.
Sure.
So you're probably going to go with end up going with about a tablespoon of oil. You know, if it's too much oil, it's not going to be a problem. It's just going to fall down. But you want to make sure you've got enough oil there to coat the almonds. Thank you, bud. Then we're going to go with anywhere from 1/8 to 1/4 of a cup of the Cajun Injector Cajun Shake, or any of your Creole seasoning that you might like. And you're going to go heavy with this because it's going to get all mixed in. And we're going to go with about a teaspoon to 2 teaspoons of the Louisiana hot sauce. It just adds a nice little vinegar bite. You get the spice from the vinegar, spice from the hot sauce. Again, we're going to get those all mixed up. And you know, this is a great activity to get the kids involved with. You can do all sorts of flavors. If you want to do lemon pepper, if you want to do a buffalo, you can probably do it with that jalapeno wing sauce that you were doing.
It would probably be great to add them in Chex Mix or something, homemade Chex Mix, you know?
You know, it's also great, you know, you're barbecuing, everyone's waiting around for the main protein, so this is something that you can do while the grill's warming up, you're getting your smoke. So we're going to take our almonds, go back to our grill basket, and we want to spread it out. And we're going to let these smoke for about 30 to 45 minutes. You can actually go longer. The key is to maintain the heat here. You don't want to go above 250. You'll start getting the burnt flavor coming out of the almonds. Once you know, taste them. I smoke them for about 30 to 45 minutes. I smoked them up to an hour and a half before at a nice low temp. The longer you smoke them, you get a lot more smoke flavor out of them. You know, you want to balance what the seasoning you're using with the amount of smoke you're getting.
And you also get a little roast flavor from the charcoal and the heat from the wood chips.
You do. And if you want to go ahead and taste one now, it's all about making sure you've got that nice salty note to begin with. Now, you still get that raw almond flavor. That's going to dissipate, and it's going to be replaced with this wonderful, roasty, smoky deliciousness, and that's what we're looking for. It's a sign of a good smoked almond. So we're going to go ahead and put these on the grill now, and in about 30 minutes, we'll be snacking, and I can't guarantee how long they're going to last.
That sounds...
All right, so we're going to go ahead and put our almonds on the grill just like we did last time. Just get them on a nice hot spot where the smoke's going to come through. Nick's going to go ahead and add the Dixie pecan flavored wood chips to the coals. We're going to let that go. Once we start seeing the smoke, we're going to time it. Again, 30 to 45 minutes later, and we'll be set for some really delicious treats.
Can't wait to try them.
All right. So one of the things I love about backyard get-togethers is the food. But so many people think it's all about the protein. But there's also all the fun side dishes you can do with smoking and grilling. So one of the things that we're going to do today that I really love is a smoked guacamole.
Smoked guacamole.
Everyone loves guacamole. Everyone loves chips and salsa. So it's just a natural progression to take it to the grill. The easiest thing to do is you're going to take your avocado and you just want to run, and you actually feel the large seed inside. If you run completely around it with your knife, nice and easy, comes off real nice. A little trick to removing the seed is just to tap your knife and twist.
Okay.
Then you've got this lovely avocado half that we can go directly into the grill and smoke. And once they're smoked, we'll pull them out of this, out of the shell, out of the core, and mash it up with a little bit of cilantro, a little bit of salt and pepper, and just have an amazing feast. But again, you know, we talked about it's not just the protein. So some of the other things that we're going to do a smoked tomato and red bell pepper soup.
Wow.
And we're also going to roast a couple jalapenos for a jalapeno popper stuffed pork finger.
That sounds delicious.
So the jalapenos are going to go just directly on the grill, nice and easy, so those are ready. The tomatoes take a little bit more work. You actually need to take your knife, and you just want to kind of cut this core where the stem of the tomato comes from. Just pop that out, because we're actually going to keep the skin on in the soup. It's going to puree, it's going to give it a little bit of texture and make it really nice. So once that comes out, just put a nice split down it. And we've already done that with these three. And with the pepper, if we really want to get that smoky flavor in there, we're going to do the same thing we did with the avocados. We're going to split them, because smoke is going to stick to wet. And so the surface of the pepper is designed to keep things out. So we want to be able to let that smoke get in. So nice and simple, nothing fancy, just a knife chop down the middle. You can decide whether you want to take the stems out. I find it's easier to take the stems out once they're smoked and roasted. From there, it'll be nice, easy. Let's get it into a soup, puree it, and make it delicious for everyone.
I can't wait to try this soup. This is new to me.
All right.
So it sounds delicious.
Well, let's take this to the grill, and let's go have some fun.
All right.
So it's not just about putting them on the grill and hoping for smoke. It's also about a proper placement of the vegetables. Certain vegetables are going to take longer to smoke. They're going to require more heat to start breaking down and pick some of that up. So it's also important to where you put the veggies. So for like our tomatoes, we're going to go ahead and we're going to put them up here. We know they're going to get a lot of this delicious smoke. The bell pepper isn't going to take too much, so we're going to just put it back here. Ooh.
Those almonds are looking good.
Yeah, you can already see the almonds in just this short amount of time. They've been on for probably about 10 minutes now. And you can see they're already starting to darken, get that nice, beautiful, smoky color to them, that roasted note. You can actually start to smell them a little bit, and that's important. Now, the jalapenos, since we kept them whole, we're really just trying to roast them. So it's not as much about getting the smoke as much about getting heat. So we want to put them where we're going to get the most direct heat. And again, the avocados, it's a high-fat fruit, so we don't want to put too much heat to it because we don't want to melt and ruin that delicious fat. So we're going to go to kind of the cold side.
This can kind of go with the almonds for a little snack while the meat's getting cooked.
Exactly. You know, it's all about making a day of it, you know, having a really good time. So you want to make sure you put your avocados down. where you've got the outer part coming up, because you really want that smoke to hit and penetrate that fat. And that's what's going to be really good about these avocados, is that fat's going to really help them stay moist, and you're actually going to start getting, it's going to darken and get a beautiful smoke on the surface. And then once you penetrate that smoke surface, you're going to see that bright green come out again. So now that our avocados have had a chance to rest, you know, if you take a spoon and you come right on the inside, that it'll pop right out.
Comes out nice. Still kind of warm.
Yeah, you know, it's great. I find if you take a fork and you mash it, you get a little bit better texture.
Oh yeah.
And that's the benefit of having that nice, warm avocado. Not where it's hot, but where it's warm.
Also like mine, a little chunky.
Yeah, I agree. You know, a chunky avocado, chunky guacamole is great. Now we're going to take a little bit of salt, depending on your preference. A touch of white onion. Now I think the raw white onion here works really well, but I've also done it with red onion, just for another flavor profile. You know, you get that kind of nice sharp biting from the onion. Now I'm going to use red chili flakes, but we can also use just regular black pepper.
Could you also use your roasted, if you have any roasted jalapenos left, you can add that too?
Sure. And you know, what really sets it off though is a little bit of fresh chopped cilantro. I like a very rough chop. You know, mix that in there. And you know, one of the benefits though of not having, you know, if you had the extra roasted jalapeno, go for it. But if you're doing just something like this, that smokiness from the smoked avocados, as you go ahead and try, that's you're going to see that there's a flavor profile that's really unique and different.
Very unique.
Creamy, smoky. You get a little bite of the onion. You get the herbalness of the cilantro.
That's pretty tasty.
You know, make a big batch of it, put it out with chips, or take it, make it, hide yourself in a closet, and just eat it with a spoon.
That sounds great. You know, I've actually also seen people garnish with pomegranate seeds, which, yeah, it's unique, different, but man, I tell you, if pomegranate's in season and you're making this smoked guacamole, I guarantee you it's going to be great.
You know, I've seen all sorts of garnishes when it comes to guacamole. Pomegranate's a great one. I've even seen, you know, where people are putting corn chips or corn. Good morning, guys. As my good friend Nick here has been saying, my name is Darryl Holiday. I am one of the founders and creators of Seasoned Smoke. What Seasoned Smoke is, it's a patent-pending, pre-soaked, ready-to-use wood chips where we've embedded the wood chips with flavor. And today, cocktails being a huge part of the barbecue, it's all about relaxation, hanging out with your family and friends. So we thought a great way to showcase our new product, the Old New Orleans Cajun spiced rum version of Seasoned Smoke, would be to do a smoked cocktail. And so we're actually going to do a smoked cherry Cajun spiced rum sour.
That sounds delicious.
So Nick here has a bag of the Old New Orleans Cajun spice ready to throw in the coals. And so what we're going to do, we're going to start with just some frozen cherries. We're going to put them in our wok grill basket, and we're going to smoke them for about 20 minutes. Get kind of some of that smokiness into the cherries, warm them up. Then we're going to muddle them with some of the Old New Orleans and mix with a little bit of sour, garnish with a nice tart green apple, and we'll be ready to sip and enjoy.
That sounds delicious.
All right, so we're going to head over to the grill now.
All right.
So we've taken the cherries and we put them in our little wok basket. We're going to go ahead and get them on the grill, and we're going to just let those start to steam a little bit. And as those start to steam, we're going to go ahead and add the Old New Orleans rum right on top of the nice hot coals. Let that smoke start penetrating as it comes from the smoke box. So that way we're not getting an extremely hot smoke. We don't want to necessarily cook the cherries, but we do want to warm them. So we're going to smoke around 200, 250. Get a nice smoky flavor, let that go for about 20 minutes. And then we're going to end with a wonderful smoked cherry Old New Orleans Cajun Spice Rum Sour. Thanks so much, guys. So we've let the cherries smoke for about 20 minutes now, and you'll notice that they've gotten a nice dark color to them. They've almost become looking like a black cherry. So we're going to carefully pull our cherries, and you can actually see they're still steaming a little bit. So you want to be careful.
Those look great.
Yep. And so we're going to move our cherries to a bowl just to try to do away with, you know, a nice piece of hot. Let's just set it right here. And these cherries now, they have a nice smoky aroma to them, almost a sweetness coming from that old New Orleans smoke. So we're going to take a couple cherries into each glass. And you can go to the bar, get a restaurant supply store, get you a muddler. Or what I do is I just have a citrus reamer, so it's a multi-purpose tool. I'll just take the back. I'm going to smash these cherries up a little bit. And Nick, if you want to go ahead and put about 1.5 ounces of rum into each of these cups.
Sure. If you'd like more rum, of course you can put more, but there's a little old New Orleans rum. Is this a spiced rum? Or?
Yeah, it's a Cajun spiced rum. What they actually do is they actually age the rum on these wonderful assortment of spices, and then we're actually working with them. We're taking those spices that they actually age the rum on, and that's what's going on to our seasoned smoked chips.
Oh, nice. So you kind of double dipping with this cocktail. You got
right.
The rum, and then they cooked rum.
Exactly. So we'll put a little ice in there. It's a little homemade sweet and sour. It's a cup of lemon juice, a 1/2 cup of sugar, 1/2 cup of water. Just bring it to a boil, turn it off, let it cool down. Just a little bit of sour in there. And of course, garnish is always important. Presentation is one of the most important things. So just for giggles, we're going to drop a green apple slice in there. Salud.
Cheers. That's a great cocktail. The cherries give off a good smoke flavor. You got
smoky, refreshing. It's almost like a nice long-aged scotch without up the cost.
And the sweet and sour makes a lot different just because of the juice, fresh juice from lemons and stuff.
Yeah, you know, it's fresh. It's you know, it's tart. You do taste the rum. Honestly, I would smoke cherries just to keep them in the fridge for this cocktail.
Okay, we smoked pork, we smoked chicken. Now we're going to do something a little different. We're going to smoke seafood. Here we have we're going to do a smoked mackerel dish on top of a nice green salad with a sweet potato dressing, sweet potato and Dijon dressing with a little pumpkin seed. So here, instead of actually mackerel, we couldn't get this time of year, so I picked up some nice redfish fillets at the local grocery store. We're going to generously season them with a little bit of Cajun injector, Cajun shake, just on the outside. We're going to hit it with a little bit of Louisiana hot sauce. We like a little heat here in Louisiana. Then I'm going to lightly drizzle a little bit of extra virgin olive oil.
Now the olive oil, that's going to help hold that moisture of the fish in, right?
Yeah, because especially smoking fish, it may tend to dry out, but we're going to smoke this till it's just done. Till about, when you smoke fish or cooking fish, typical is about 145 degrees internal temperature. And I have some thinly sliced lemons we'll just put on top for a little acidic. There we go. And then now that the fish is nicely seasoned, we're going to go into our Cajun injector electric smoker. And Darryl's going to help me. We're going to go ahead and put this fish in the smoker. And Darryl, what type of wood chips you would like to use today?
We're going to go ahead and use a mesquite with this. Again, we're going to get that really nice hot smoke to it. It's going to get that, it's going to apply a little bit of a bitterness to the sweetness of the fish, kind of balance out. The great thing with the Santa Fe mesquite wood chips is you have that nice, you got the nice balance note with all the seasonings that we add to it. And again, all these wood chips that we do are available on our website at seasonedsmoke.com, along with all the great products from Bruce Foods on the Bruce Foods website.
And these wood chips are pre-soaked, correct? So I don't have to worry about soaking them again, and they're ready to go.
And that's the best part is, you know, they are designed to be simple, ready to use, no problems, ready to use. Put them in your smoker, put them directly on the coals. No soaking required. We've taken all the guesswork out. One little bag will do about 3 pounds of meat. So really great, consistent smoke flavor.
Well, great. We're going to let this fish smoke, and then when the fish is done smoking, we'll come back. And fish is almost finished smoking, so we're going to go ahead and make our dressing for our salad. Today we're actually making a sweet potato dressing. We're using a 1/4 cup of Bruce's sweet potatoes in a can. Basically, we're going to take these sweet potatoes, mash them up a little bit. You can just leave them. It makes for a good texture. Just roughly mash them. We're going to add some extra virgin olive oil, about a quarter of a cup. Then we're going to add 2 tablespoons of red wine vinegar, a little bit of about a quarter of a teaspoon of Dijon mustard. Kind of helps bind together along with the sweet potatoes. And something a little different we're adding is a little bit of fresh leeks. What makes for a real good dressing if you actually roast these in a saute pan. Those also work well with the brings out the leek flavor. And then we'll add a little salt, touch of salt.
You could have also smoked these leeks along with your fish to bring out that flavor.
Correct. So we'll add a little bit more oil to thin out the dressing. And then here we have some mixed greens. We have a little mesclun mix along with some spinach. We're just going to add that, mix this together. Darryl has the smoked fish. As you can see, it's an internal temperature of 145. Gives it a nice color. We're going to add the mixed greens on the plate with the sweet potato dressing. And I'll take a little bit of the red fish, place on top, and then we're actually adding a little bit of crouton or so to it. It's some fresh smoked and roasted pumpkin seed to garnish it off. And there you have a smoked redfish with sweet potato dressing.
How many people will it
serve? This recipe serves approximately 4 people, 4 servings. Good morning. Today we're going to season this nice pork butt and make pork tacos in about 8 hours. Not your typical smoked or barbecue pork, but today we're going to do a little something different. We're going to use a little jalapeno lime Louisiana wing sauce and a little bit of Cajun injector Creole garlic, a little combination of both. And then once the pork butt is ready in a couple hours, we're going to make a pork taco with mango salsa, chipotle aioli on a crispy wonton. All these products you can get at www.brucefoods.com. Cajun injector, Louisiana hot sauce, Louisiana wing sauce, or at your local sporting goods places. All of these products are available to you. Also, we have Darryl Holiday here with seasoned smoke. We're going to use his seasoned smoked wood chips. Darryl, what wood chips are we going to use today?
For the pork, we're going to go ahead and go with a Santa Fe mesquite. It's going to burn a little bit hotter, so you're going to get a really nice crust formation, a nice bark, and you're going to get a really strong smoke flavor. It's going to pair well with the pork. And it's also going to pair well with what I'm going to do with some of the pork and take it with a Louisiana strawberry barbecue sauce.
Oh, nice. That sounds delicious. Strawberries are starting to be in season this time of year. So what a perfect way to use fresh ingredients.
Yeah, it's all about using local and about using what's in season.
Good. So now we're going to inject the pork. We have a Cajun injector needle. You can find these at any local store. We're going to inject the pork in different angles with a little bit of jalapeno lime. Kind of gives it a little Spanish Mexican flair. Nice jalapeno flavor, which you get the zest of the lime. Thank you, sir. So once we've injected a little bit, you can while I do the garlic, you can actually pour a little bit on top down.
All right.
We'll shoot it up with the Creole garlic. This is roughly about an 8 or 9 pound pork butt that has bone in. But if you can't find bone in, they also do boneless pork butts. Of course, as we say, the bone gives off more of the flavor, makes it juicier, keeps it moist. The bone roasts and gives off the wonderful flavors of the pork. And then if you want to grab the Cajun shake, we can season the outside. Usually it'll take, you can use up to a jar in the Cajun injector. Oh, there we go. I made a little mess, but hey, it's all in the barbecue, right? So now that we've got this all seasoned up, ready to go, that'll season it nicely. If you're going to actually use the needle inside the marinade. So if you're cooking with a smaller cut of meat, you may want to have a glass or a measuring cup on the side. Pour the amount of marinade you think that you'll use in the cup. Use the needle and disperse that marinade if you don't use it all. What we do not want you to do is basically inject in the raw meat and go back and forth to the jar unless you're going to use the whole jar. If you don't use the whole jar, then you need to put the jar back in the refrigerator for later use. The cross-contamination is the key here.
Right, so, you know, food safety is really important, especially when you're having to get together with your friends. What you want to do is get all your friends and family sick. So if you do back and forth like we did, it's not a very expensive jar, but there's so many different flavors you can play with. Throw the jar away, get a new flavor, play with it again, and go from there.
That sounds great. So now we're going to actually take this seasoned pork butt into the Cajun injector electric smoker. Darryl will place it in on the top shelf. Also, if you want, as you can see, there's numerous pans. You can smoke different things. We also have a drip pan. Depending on if you're smoking a big cut of meat as this, we suggest maybe putting a little apple juice or beef broth, something in the pan just to keep it moist. And we'll close it. Set the temperature to about 225 degrees. Darryl's going to add the wood chips on the side chute and shoot them in. And then we're just going to let this pork butt smoke for about 8 hours. And then we'll be up to it'll be nice and tender
for a good 8 hours now. We think our pork is going to be close. So my good friend Nick's going to go ahead and let's get it open and let's take a temp. Make sure we're at about 150, 155.
Okay. So as you can see, the pork is slowly starting to separate from the bone. Now we'll pull out the pork. We'll take an internal temperature, and it looks like we're about almost to 150. So that in the next 30 minutes or so, the pork will be ready. And actually, on the Cajun injector electric smoker, you actually have a thermal a temperature gauge inside the smoker that reads on the outside of the panel. So if you don't have a thermometer in hand, you can use the one that actually comes inside the electric smoker. It helps to take temperature in whatever you're smoking. And we're going to make some tacos shortly.
You know, I think one of the great things is, you know, you've got this beautiful pork, but you're not going to make a taco with the whole thing. So I think a great thing to do, highlighting Louisiana produce, is let's make a strawberry barbecue sauce.
Wow, that sounds delicious. A little fruity, a little spicy.
Exactly. I'm going to go ahead and get the heat on. And I'm going to go in with some unsalted butter. I mean, everything's better when you start off with butter.
Butter is good.
And we've got a small to medium onion, just diced up.
Now people use unsalted butter just so they can add the salt that they need rather than using salted and then possibly over-salting a sauce or something.
You know, exactly. You'll see all the cooking shows, they start with unsalted butter because it's always easier to salt to your flavor profile than add a whole bunch of things that have salt and try to take the salt out. So we've got our onion in there. We've got 2 cloves of minced garlic. If you're like me, you can go a little bit, and you really like garlic, you can always add more. You know, I find the subtleness here that you don't want to add too much of that garlic, but just a little bit does have that really great flavor profile. And we're going to go ahead and we're going to saute these onions till they start to become clear. And then we're going to go in with 2 cups of tomato sauce. We're going to go in with a quart of diced strawberries. Now these are fresh strawberries. You could use frozen if you didn't have access to fresh Louisiana strawberries. We're actually using some local honey, or raw honey, 1/4 cup of the raw honey, and 2/3 of a cup of brown sugar. So that's going to help reinforce that nice sweet strawberry flavor. A little bit of apple cider vinegar. And for the spices, we're using cayenne pepper, chili powder, mustard powder, salt. But if you wanted to have more of that smoky flavor, you could go with the chipotle powder, or you could even take a dry chili and puree that into it. All right, so we're now, our onions starting to become clear. So we're going to go ahead and go in with our tomato sauce. If you want to add the strawberries, Nick.
Sure.
You know, we're doing this on a little burner, but you could easily take this and do it if you had a burner on your propane grill, or you know, even if you had a hot spot on your grill that you weren't using. You know, or make it inside, you know, whatever you're looking to do. But that's what's so great about barbecue and just grilling, is that really you have the opportunity to take any product and cook it as long as you can control the heat. So I mean, that's what we do on a regular basis is, you know, prepare foods, and it's really just trying to help get the average, you know, guy on the street barbecuing that go beyond your regular repertoire of sausage, hot dogs, hamburgers, and experiment, have fun, play a little bit.
Be creative.
Exactly. I'm going to go with some raw Louisiana honey. This is a fourth a cup. And the great thing about raw honey is it's really thick. And so that's going to help add a nice body and viscosity to this. You'll see a lot of barbecue sauces that instead call for molasses or something like that, but I wanted something that was going to add a lot more of that mouthfeel to it. So we went with raw honey. We're also going to go with 2/3 a cup of light brown sugar, if it wants to come out. We're going to go in with a 1/4 a cup of apple cider vinegar.
That gives it the little zesty though.
It's going to help bring out the acidity of the fruit and of the tomato. We're also going to add a little bit of orange juice at the end, a fresh squeezed orange juice, which is going to help add some acidity. And so all this is going to come together. I mean, you could leave it in chunk form like this and kind of serve it as a compote. We're going to puree it so it's more of a traditional barbecue sauce.
It'll be nice and bright, huh? Bright red.
It's going to, yeah, you get a really pretty color, a nice pinkish red. You know, depending if you're using frozen strawberries, fresh strawberries. Frozen seem to be at least seems to be a little bit darker, but you still get a really nice bright red color to it. And then here we have a 2 teaspoons of mustard powder, a tablespoon of fresh cracked black pepper, tablespoon of kosher salt, and 1/8 of a teaspoon of cayenne pepper. And you can always adjust that to your needs. You know, I like the balance that provides, but if you want something that's a little bit spicier, or you want to change the chili powder out for an ancho chili or chipotle chili, you know, you have all those options. That's what's so great about barbecue and about cooking, is it's what meets you and your family, your guests' desires.
You don't see a lot of fruit barbecue sauces out there. This is interesting. I can't wait to try it. And I mean, using a fresh produce like this to incorporate in the barbecue sauce just makes for an excellent application.
You know, I think you're starting to see a lot more fruit barbecue sauces out there as people are becoming more willing to experiment and move away from the store-bought jarred barbecue sauce, especially when people see how simple and easy it is to make. I'm actually going to go ahead and get this orange cut up, but Nick, if you want to go ahead and start blending that up for me.
Sure, we're actually using a stick blender today. If you have a fruit processor or a blender inside the house, that'll work as well.
And you know, we talked about bringing that bright acidity out, so I'm going to go with the juice of half an orange. And you know, you want to make sure you have something underneath to catch in case you get any seeds in there. You know, this, you know, we talked about this being a Louisiana product, so, you know, I really wanted to stay with that, and I went with a Louisiana navel orange. Well, we'll just puree that piece of orange in. And that's what's important. It's about trying to stay true to what your needs are, what you're looking for. So go ahead and give it a taste. Let's tell me what you think.
That's a nice looking sauce. We'll just taste it here.
You taste the strawberry, you do, and it's not overpowering, it's subtle. It's one of those great accoutrements that, you know, if you want to put it on pork, you know, it makes a great pork salad, you know, lighten up your barbecue a little bit.
It's amazing because you get all the senses. You get sweet, you get sour, you get a little bitterness, so it works for a great barbecue sauce. The color's amazing.
Thanks. And what's great about this is this will actually keep in the fridge for about 2 weeks. You know, I don't want to encourage people to hold on to it too long. Any food that you keep too long will grow spoilage bacteria. But, you know, 2 weeks in the fridge, take it to your next party, find uses for it.
Must be on slaw.
You know, this also works as a really unique slaw dressing.
Oh,
if you wanted to take, I know we're going to be doing a unique slaw later, but, you know, do something a little bit different. Make a strawberry slaw. You know, just be creative, go out of the box.
Our pork butt has been smoking for 8 hours. We've let it rest for 10 minutes. The bone is clearly coming, separating from the meat. It's nice and tender, and we're ready to make our pork tacos. We fried up some crispy wontons. It's not your traditional taco with a corn tortilla, but we've made some unique, as you can see, they're all different shapes and sizes, but it's a crispy wonton. Basically, we're going to serve this with a little mango salsa, and we're going to make from fresh diced mango, a little bit of yellow bell pepper, a little diced jalapeno for a little heat, some fresh cilantro, diced red onion, and a little bit of green onion. We're going to add a little bit of red wine vinegar for a little acidic, a little extra virgin olive oil, and some black pepper. So we'll stir this up and make a nice little mango salsa. Basically now we have this fruit salsa to go along with the pork, and then we're going to add a little bit of heat, another smoke component. We have some chipotle peppers that have been pureed. This is from Casa Fiesta product. It's an all-natural Mexican line product. We're going to take some smoked chipotles, a little bit of mayo. This is your quick and dirty aioli, I guess you can say. An aioli is a mayo based. We're just making it quick and simple for you to make. It's basically a little bit of mayo and then the smoked chipotle peppers. If you wanted to make this from scratch, you'd actually take some egg yolks and whip them till they become thick, and then add your chipotles. So Darryl, if you want to help me, you can pull some pork from the pork butt, add it to the taco. There you go. And if you can hold that, and then we can add a little salsa, little aioli, and we'll do a little fresh cilantro on top for garnish. And tell me what you think. A little crispy, a little messy, but it's a different take on a taco.
The fruit salsa is just, you get a really brightness up front. You get a ton of smoke from the pork. It's really juicy. And you get that little bit of heat and smoke from the chipotle aioli. I mean, it's a killer dish.
Thank you. Thank you. And there's a, not your traditional pork taco, but a great way to do a pork taco.
And we're out.
So, everybody loves going to the bar and getting jalapeno poppers. You know, great bar food. Well, this is a take on that. I call it my pork jalapeno popper. So now that we've roasted the peppers, and you can see that the skin just kind of peels off nicely. So if we go ahead and just peel that skin off nice and easy, we're actually going to take the jalapeno and we're going to dice it up, and we're actually going to put it in our cheese mixture. The cheese mixture is 4 ounces of plain cream cheese, 4 ounces of ricotta, a whole milk ricotta, and 4 ounces of shredded cheddar. They each have their own really unique properties, and when it comes to the final melt, you just get a really great flavor out of it.
Now, do you put the you'll put the seeds in it as well?
You know, I like the seeds in it because I think with pork you get a really nice heat level to it. You know, that's kind of dependent on the person. I'm going to put in 1 to start and kind of taste it and see where we are at the heat level. And the best thing about it is if you do the veggies first before you start to handle the pork, you can taste it without worry of cross-contamination. Again, we don't want to go about getting ourselves sick or any of our friends sick. So we're going to put a nice rough chop to this. We don't want anything too small. We want to make sure they get at least a bite of heat.
As a traditional popper, they usually cut the jalapeno in half, stuff that with cream cheese, and just lay it flat. But here we actually roasted it and dicing them and actually incorporating in the stuffing.
Correct, yeah. And we're actually going to stuff this into a what I call a pork chop finger, and then wrap it in bacon. Because when you add pork and you mix it with its brother bacon, and you have this wonderful cheese and jalapeno mix, you know, you can't go wrong.
Well, everything's better with bacon.
It should be its own food group. So we'll take a small taste of this. Just enough heat where you're not going to burn anyone. And that cheese is going to also help counteract some of that heat that you're getting from the jalapeno seeds.
With 3
So it's a nice
work
balance.
well together. I like
Yep.
that combination.
So we're going to take just a regular store-bought pork chop, and if you just split it in half, there we go. And then what I like to do is just cut a small pocket in the middle of it, and on both sides. And you also want to make sure you do season your pork chops, because nothing's better than, or nothing's worse than a bland pork chop. But so a nice little bit of the Cajun injector, Cajun shake. Then now you've got these little pockets. Just come in with a little bit of your cheese mixture, and it is going to be a messy job because you want to make sure you kind of push that cheese all the way on the inside. A whole piece of bacon. Don't skimp. You see people saying use half a strip of bacon. You know, that just makes me sad.
The bacon helps seal the cheese within it once it cooks.
Right, and that's kind of the benefit of the bacon, as well as being delicious, is you really do get that kind of seal going. And if you make sure you wrap it where you have your cheese, you know, we'll wrap that, then we'll throw them on the grill, and it's going to take about 15 to 20 minutes on a nice hot grill, 20 to 30 if your grill's a little bit cooler. But when it comes out, your bacon's going to be crisp, your cheese is going to be hot, and your pork is going to stay super juicy.
That looks delicious already.
All right, well, let's finish stuffing these, and we'll get them on the grill.
All right, sounds good.
So because we've got the bacon, I think personally that it goes best over direct heat. That way we get that nice, really crisp bacon flavor. And you know, just like we do with the steaks, we are going to go at a slight diagonal on the grate. What that's going to do is it's actually going to help the product come off the grill, and it's going to help keep the bacon from tearing and falling off your pork finger. I mean, there's no point in putting the bacon on there if it's just going to rip off. So nice and carefully put them on there. Make sure you've got you know, ample space between, that you're not struggling. And you'll always try to balance that the larger pieces are more towards the middle, the smaller pieces to the sides, because your heat's going to radiate in the middle. You've got your coals piled up. And you know, it's never a bad time to check on your steak, so we'll take a quick look at it while we're here.
Sure.
Let these go, and we get that nice crust formation going. So you know, we're going really well on here. A little bit longer, we'll make a fantastic po' boy. But we just finished smoking all those vegetables, so let me show you some great uses with those.
Sounds great.
So what I'm going to add now is about a tablespoon to 2 of goat cheese. And I'm going to let you go ahead and puree all that up. And you can either do this in a blender, or you can do this with a stick mixer, a food processor. But it'll break down and the goat cheese will add a little bit of creaminess. And then we're going to put it back on the stove, and we're going to add a little bit of salt and pepper and some garlic and some fresh onion. I find if you put the fresh onion in there, just kind of boil it in there a little bit, you get a really great flavor that most times people will try to saute the onions. This is going to give it a little bit of a different flavor profile.
The goat cheese will give it a nice texture, nice creaminess.
Right. So now we've got everything pureed, we're going to put it back on the burner, and we're going to let it come up. But while it's coming up, we're going to add a touch of salt. You know, I like to do just maybe a pinch or two. We can always add more. If you're barbecuing, I think you got to have some heat. So again, we'll do a little bit of pepper flakes. You know, if you had the extra roasted pepper like we did earlier, you could add it here. But we're going to go in with some fresh garlic. This is about a tablespoon of fresh garlic. And we're going to go in with half a white onion. Traditionally, you know, a lot of people would expect you to saute or, you know, cook the onion ahead of time. I find that if you cook the onion in the soup, you get a really unique flavor and texture. So that's what we're going to go for. And it's probably time to look at our pork fingers and our steak for the po' boy. So we'll pull it off. When we come back, we'll let you try the soup, and we'll go there. Buy some of the lower cuts of steak and turn them into a steak po' boy.
Nice.
So what we're doing is we've got a flat sirloin here, and we're going to do what I like to call the black and Thai New Orleans po' boy. So what we're going to do is we're actually going to take the steak, and marination in the Ziploc bag is the easiest thing ever. And you know, with barbecue becomes beer. So you're going to have a beer lying around. Add yourself about half a bottle. That way you can drink the other half.
The rest.
This is sriracha sauce. It's a Asian red chili paste. Depending on how much heat level you want, put a squirt or two in there. And then what works best is if you let this sit for 24 hours. You'll start to see the steak take on a caramel color, but get all the air out. Make sure you get that Thai sauce mixed in. Get some of that beer foaming. Actually, the carbonation of the beer is actually going to help tenderize tough cuts of meat. And when you're finished, you're going to end up with something of this almost caramel color. So we're actually going to take this, we're going to put it on the grill, and then we're going to come back and we're going to do a lot of fun stuff with these veggies that we've been smoking.
Sounds like we have a busy day.
We do. So we've got our steak that we've been marinating for 24 hours. You know, I like to put it against the grill marks, almost at a diagonal. You're going to get a lot better texture and visual appeal. Also like it in the hot spot. And what that's going to do, you're going to get that nice sear on it, the nice color. And you're just going to get all that flavor that comes through with the smoke coming in, the grill. And so we're going to actually let this go. I'm going to normally take this to about a medium well for this cut. Especially since it's been marinated for 24. If it's too done, you know, you kind of turn off a lot of people. If it's too well done, then you dry it out. So a nice mid-well, and we're going to slice it real thin, put it on a po' boy bread with a really unique greens topping I think you're going to love. And I'll let you try it and we'll go from there.
Sounds great.
We've got crispy bacon. You know, it's stuck to the product because of how we laid it on the grill. We see the cheese is oozing out. And again, they're coming off the grill super easy. One, the bacon is helping keep them lubricated. But two, again, it's about placement and knowing how to put them on the grill. You know, the biggest problem have people with fish or things like that that start to fall apart is they put them on the grill and they have to scrape them off. A slight diagonal, about 45 degrees, and you're good to go. So we're going to cut the steak nice and thin. And then I'm going to show you a mustard green salad that I make that we're going to use to top this. And I mean, you can see right now all the juice that's coming out of that steak as I cut it, that it's letting it rest, allow the steak to stay really moist and delicious. And because I like you, we're going to put a fair amount of meat on the sandwich for you.
Well, the popper was delicious. Crispy bacon. Can't wait to try the po' boy.
So we're going to take our meat, you know, just nice amount of meat in the bottom of the sandwich bun. And then we've got some mustard greens here that we've washed. And the key is to wash the mustard greens and then wash them and then wash them again. You want to remove all the dirt. They'll have a tendency to hold on to a lot of grit, and no one wants a gritty sandwich. But what we've got here is some Zatarain's Creole mustard. So, you know, a fair amount, about 2 spoons worth. And then I go in with about a spoon of mayonnaise. It really doesn't take much. I'll do a spritz of salt, and then I'm going to just take this and get this mixed up and almost use that I'm going to use the mayonnaise and Creole mustard as the salad dressing for this. You know, I like the idea of taking the mustard greens and doing a nice chiffonade to it. It gives it a really great visual appeal, but it also helps with the texture. Now these are raw. If you don't like the raw mustard greens, you could blanch them quickly and then ice them down. But take some of that nice green right on top.
It looks like a wonderful sandwich. Jeez. And this is a New Orleans style po' boy, huh?
You know, it's my New Orleans, it's my take on a New Orleans po' boy. So there you've got a delicious.
You can get the black and tan, really nice. It's very good.
So you know, there you've got your you got a really great sandwich. I'm going to put a little bit of soup in this mug for you. So you know, all of this can easily be done ahead of time, and then now you've got a soup and sandwich lunch on a cold day or on, you know, an evening when you don't really have a lot of time to cook dinner with your friends and family.
I like the smoky in this and the crunchy of the onion. It's delicious.
And the key is to let that onion cook for about 5 minutes. You're going to pull a lot of that sharp bite out of the onion, but you'll get that great texture.
Great soup and sandwich day, that's for sure.
Well, excellent. Glad you were here joining us.
Thank you. So today we've been doing all kind of different types of smoking. I mean, we went from smoked pork, we're going to do smoked fish in a little bit, and we did a strawberry barbecue sauce. Now we're going to actually make a Thai dish with smoked coconut. So as you see here, we have a little bit of unsweetened white shredded coconut that we've actually smoked some ahead of time. So this is before it's been smoked, and this is after. As you can see, it gets nice and crispy, and today we just smoked in a colander. If you have a sheet pan with holes in it, or just something to generate the smoke through, as you see the holes, it's coming through, and it has a nice smoke flavor to the coconut. You can also smoke whole coconut.
Yeah, you actually, if you take the whole coconut and you actually split it in half, drain out the coconut water, the coconut milk, you just put it upside down just like we did the bell peppers or avocados earlier. You can actually smoke the whole coconut.
Oh, nice. That would actually make for a different texture, or you can do some unique things with it.
You know, it's really good. It'll dry out the same way, which is nice. But the thing with the shredded coconuts, it's really available. So the key is, you know, to do something that's got holes. In our case, we use a colander, but a mesh basket, even possibly a cheesecloth bag might work.
Great, great. And also with the smoked coconut, to add a little bit of more smoke flavor, we smoked some half chickens earlier. We're going to actually pull some of the chicken and add it to the soup. So this case, we have 1 3/4 cup of chicken stock, bringing it up to temperature. We have some fresh ginger. As you can see, I took the fresh ginger root, peeled it, and then we have 1 1/4 tablespoons of fresh minced ginger we'll add to the soup. This over the cooking period, as the soup becomes up to temperature, it's going to tenderize the ginger, and it's going to be real refreshing in the soup itself. Then we're going to add a little bit of sliced whole jalapenos. We'll save a little bit for garnish of the soup. We'll add those in there. This is going to add a little heat. You have the ginger.
But you actually took the seeds out of this one, unlike the roasted jalapeno.
Correct. I took the seeds out because you want a little bit of heat, but you don't want to hurt anybody. And then we have some lemongrass, which is a great component. Basically, what you take the lemongrass. These were two whole lemongrass. You want to keep them whole. I just kind of cut them in half to fit my ramekin. But basically, what you want to do with the lemongrass is take the back of your knife and just kind of break it up a little bit. As you can see, it shreds a little, breaks up. You're going to be able to get more of the flavor out of it. I wouldn't actually cut it, because basically you're going to serve it in the soup, but you don't want to eat the lemongrass. Right. It gets a little too tough. So we're just using this basically as a flavor component. So we add some lemongrass in there. We're also going to add a little bit of lemon juice for a little acidic. And then another unique ingredient is an Asian fish sauce. Now when you open the bottle, as you know, it doesn't smell too good, but it smells like fermented fish.
And this actually adds your salt component. For
correct.
The fish.
It's very high in salt. We're going to add some fish sauce, and then also a little bit of fresh cilantro. We'll save a little bit for garnish of the soup. And then another key component, we have some unsweetened coconut milk. This will help with the thickness of the soup.
And the key is to make sure you're using unsweetened coconut milk and unsweetened shredded coconut. You're not trying to make a dessert here.
Correct, correct. And then we're going to add 1 1/2 cup of uncooked rice. Stir that in. And then for right now, just to incorporate the flavor, a little bit of smoke early on in the game, we're going to add a little bit of fresh smoked coconut. We'll save a little bit of this for garnish. And we're going to bring this up to a boil, and then reduce it to simmer, and let it simmer for about 30 minutes, and then when the chicken comes off, we'll add the chicken to top it off.
Man, that just smells fantastic.
The soup has been cooking, and we're ready to serve it. One good serving suggestion is taking our nice smoked chicken that was cooked on our Cajun injector, world's greatest chicken cooker. We take some chicken. As you can see, it's nice and tender. We have some nice roasted chicken in here. We're going to take our Thai soup, put it in the bowl with some fresh coconut. Darryl, you can garnish with that. Got a little smoked coconut, a little more cilantro, and a little bit more heat for the fresh jalapeno. And then we have a little chicken chicken crackling that we're going to garnish the soup with. Crispy chicken. Here in South Louisiana, we like to crisp anything up. And there you go. You have a delicious Thai soup with smoked chicken. Darryl, why don't you go ahead and try?
And this is the same soup that we made with the toasted coconut as well.
Correct. We cook some within the soup, and we also garnish it. That way you get the consistency.
It's a great smokiness, really creamy. It's light, very refreshing.
And the chicken skin actually acts like a little crouton within it.
Yeah, let it sit, give it a minute or two, soak up some of that flavor. You can't go wrong.
Great.